Hey, back again. Back again. Hope you guys are doing well. Be a funky little live stream. We'll see how it goes. I usually use this one. My other phone is weird. Hey, there's a guy with an umbrella. Hey, what's this button? What's that button do? Read good now. Weird. I think so. Yeah, so as per usual in our Carversations, I like to talk about interesting shit. Interesting shit, right? Like what is going on in the world? What are some of my thoughts on the internet? A thing that I'm very heavily invested into, but something that I totally see as a valid tool for people to use, but also one that's just like going fucking bananas right now. Election season does this weird thing to people where, I don't know, maybe it's always been like this. It's hard to know because I've only been aware of like election cycles for better like 20 years basically. But they've seen, like, my involvement with them has been sort of like less and less, like the more, or like, so it started off, more and more, not less and less. So it started off and I just would vote because you'd vote just on whatever party that you thought was, yours. Oh, I'm a Democrat, so I'm gonna vote for a Democrat. Oh, I'm a Republican, I vote for a Republican. Like, when you're 18, that's like what you do, right? Or not, or maybe not. Maybe that's just my dumbass that does it. I don't know. So, but I never, like, politics didn't, like, God, sorry for all the bumps. It's like the worst road possible. Like God, I can't even think. What is this? A walkway? Looks like it. It's hard to know how like divisive politics have always been when like I have just seen, again, the past 20 years and only like a heavy involvement over the past like 10 really, and even that is like probably the last 8 has been more of like my like big involvement in it, which is sad. I'll be the first to admit, like, my overall engagement with politics has been abysmal, to say the least, in my life. But I think that's like sort of the trap that most like young adults fall into. Yo, man, drop the Cybertruck and get a real house. What? Yeah, that's kind of how I think of it right now. So seeing how people have reacted to like election news and how information is spread about, like, I think information like this was always spread about political candidates, right? Oh, this person does this and they're a complete clown and blah de blah. But like, I don't know. It didn't get shared at this rate because there was no social media. Maybe that's the problem we're dealing with, is that, as I've said, is like we've never seen information spread at this speed And I think that's daunting for a lot of people. And a lot of people have made it their life's work to shut down people talking on the internet. And I don't even know if a majority of the people in the world are connected in some of the ways that people I know are connected. Right? Like I spend more time than the average person in certain online spaces. So I see a lot more discourse about politics than probably the average person. But I wonder how the average person looks at a lot of this stuff. Yo, what's up? Yeah, I'm back, man. I'm back. How's it going, Krabby? This thing is annoying the fuck out of me, though. Whatever. That'll do, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the overall... Yo, Shadow, what's up, man? Yeah, I guess I don't know. To me, watching the internet do what it's doing is similar to what people did 30 years ago, 20 years ago, but on a more viral scale. There's nothing... People would still lose their minds and still go and tell as many people as they could, but there was no way for that information to really take hold unless a newspaper got a hold of it, and even then it likely didn't reach as many people as it does now, right? So that's the really bizarre thing about modern politics and news, is that it's likely not all that representative of who's actually seeing it. It goes back. Twitter isn't real life, is kind of what I mean. Ooh, there's a popo behind me. Let's not get pulled over. Got a whole new highway going in here. Freeway, rather. I feel like this guy's aching to throw his lights on right now. I need to fill my tire up with air is what I need to do. Crazy gonna crazy, yeah. Whoop whoop, that's the sound of the police. Might happen. It honestly wouldn't surprise me the way some cops are nowadays. I don't know, I'm in my company vehicle though, so usually they don't mess with us on this unless I'm driving like a total a-hole. Which I'm not. I'm driving like a good kid. Yeah, so just the overall... Sorry, I lost focus on my Carversation, but essentially what it comes down to is people I think are slowly losing it, but I just don't know if it's indicative of a larger story. Like, I think, watching things go viral on Twitter or TikTok, like what does that actually mean in the grand scheme of things, right? Like, I know kids can be manipulated to, like, it's not good to have kids and social networks at such a young age, but like, is a lot of what we're seeing on Twitter and TikTok and even YouTube Shorts, like, what is the larger problem here? I don't know if it's misinformation. I think people are pretty good at parsing out bad information, largely, and then doing what they need to do. Like, the truth wins out type of thing, right? Truth always wins out. But I don't know, like, are we like, for the most part, are what, like, if we do see misinformation, whether it's about, like, let's just take Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, if we see misinformation about them, is that misinformation causing problems for people overall? Like, is it something that we should be worried about? It doesn't seem like it to me. Like, if a tweet goes viral, 1 million, 2 million people see it, should we be worried that it might say something that makes, I don't know. We just live in a very weird place, and I honestly, I just think it doesn't matter because the fuck, I can't even think. Can't think, y'all. I'm losing my train of thought. Here we go. Yeah, it doesn't matter if a tweet goes viral that has misinformation, because it isn't indicative of the larger whole. The larger whole. That's what I wonder. I just think, well, is this something that actually needs to be worried about? Because is like 1 million singular people seeing this? Is it like 1 million unique people, or has it just been circulated 1 million times, or 2 million times, or 5 million times? Sorry if I'm not catching your chats, guys. I am driving, so I can't really see. There's like a bit of a glare off my phone, so I'm trying not to die. But I love that you guys are here. These are often just for me to brain dump as I drive to work anyway. If I can get to comments, I do. Every now and then I can see, or maybe there's like traffic that pops up and I'll be able to see it. I don't know, I spent 12 days on vacation, 10 of which were in Hawaii. But I spent, I'd be on Twitter in my downtime, like when we were back home, just relaxing in the condo or whatever. And I just, like, when people brigade against others, it makes me wonder, like, what are they doing? Why would you spend all of your time doing that? Like, I spend a lot of time online, there's no doubt. Like, if you're in my Discord, I'm around. Like, I'm talking with people, but I do a fair amount of stuff offline, and maybe these people are, but the amount of, like, content I see people put out, like, let's say on Twitter and even YouTube, I just think, holy shit, like, there has to be something outside of this, or you're gonna drive yourself insane. Like, I just got blocked by this one guy who I was trying to have an open conversation with. I said, hey dude, like, let's sit down and talk. Like, I agree with some of the stuff you're saying about how crazy some commentators can be, I said, we don't agree on everything. And I tried going back and forth with him, tried sending him DMs, and he finally blocked me because I called his dumbass out for trying, what up, Kenzo? For trying to mass flag FNT's video. Now, you don't have to love everything that FNT says to know that getting like tagging Team YouTube, first of all, and also trying to get a mass flag campaign going against them is like, dude, what are you doing? You can't do that. Like, it's one thing to share that you don't agree with something that someone says. Oh, hey, I was watching this video. Someone sent me this video, and it was totally egregious, like full of racism or whatever, like, and I reported it. Like, look at this crap. It's one thing to do that. It's another thing entirely to say, hey, everyone, I need you to share this, and I need you to report this right now at Team YouTube. Like, dude, you can't do that. You can't like be trying to do God's work here and mass flagging everything that you disagree with. Like, and that's the thing. Like, and it kind of connects to what I'm saying. Like, if you can't have like open discourse about things that you don't like, you're essentially a fraudster, in my opinion. Like, you can hide behind a million YouTube videos that are well structured, but if you're not willing to, I think, openly discuss with your opposition on a video, I think that what you're doing is likely full of holes. It's really easy to sit down and record a video disparaging a bunch of people about it, but if you can't sit down and have a rational conversation, whether you're right or wrong, like, there's some people out there who have some balls, right, that are completely wrong, but at least they have the ability to sit down with someone and have the conversation. Like, totally props to them. Like, to go on someone's show and completely humiliate yourself, it says a lot about you. But it shows conviction. Right or wrong, you are committed to that idea. But most people I see, they're not. I won't say most. I'm going to try and not be as hyperbolic as I can. A lot of people will make dozens and dozens of videos on something and then have a really hard time like having a one-on-one discussion, because where they shine is their ability to, I won't say manipulate information, but to give it more emotional weight than it deserves. Right? Like, even our favorite commentators, like, sometimes do a really bad job at taking a step back and looking at something in a more fair light, or it's done in a way, and again, this is just their style. I don't know if it's useful to do it this way. When people, like, when you intentionally like force a hand in play along with the racism or bigotry, right? I just did a whole video on this that got me a little bit of attention from a certain crowd, and I don't really hold any ill will against people who want to do that. If that's your style, that's your style. I still think it's important that people have the ability to engage fairly in discussions on culture, politics, and especially entertainment. A lot of the people that we mutually follow are, they're entertainment commentators. But I would like to see a change in how a lot of it happens. And I've said for a minute, and I've talked with a few other creators, and there's probably one listening right now that said, I told you this, Shag. We gotta talk about things that we really enjoy. Like, that's really the only way you sort of like flip it on its head. And even bringing up things like like in my last video. It was less about Melanie and more about the overall issue of not like leaning into this like I'm a bigot thing. It's not cool. I'll just tell you guys that out right now. It ain't cool. Sorry. And if anyone wants to leave because I said that, you're more than welcome to. It won't hurt my feelings. I don't think like it's funny within like a circle of friends, right? We're always like, not being a bigot, whatever. I think, but if that's your like shtick, and I think it's like it's funny like once, like the shock value of it is like, oh yeah, and then. And again, like when I say in my video, not to beat a dead horse, but when that becomes your only thing, when you're sort of this one-trick pony, it's like, dude, like okay, but now, like you've gone through multiple cycles of I'm a bigot, and the people that sort of like come and go within fandom spaces or like YouTube spaces, they see this face that all of a sudden is new, and they're like, they don't know the beginning of the meme. They don't know the origin of that meme. They just see someone on stage smiling, being happy about being a bigot. No, I saw what you said. I didn't see the full thing. I don't think she's necessarily one anyway, and that's what I mean, is like faced with like real, like if she were in a position in real life, she wouldn't say most of the stuff that she says. She's saying it because it makes her money. It's shock value. It gets people to engage in her videos and her tweets. Like her ratios are usually really good, which is also kind of sad. Because I don't know that the people in the comments, like some of her comments are fucking vile, man. Like on Twitter, holy shit. There's some people in there that are like, yeah, fucking, we need some purity in the lines. We don't fucking need, and they'll use the F slur or whatever. And I'm just like, what is, like I don't even know if that F word is truly offensive to gay people anymore. I think most of them just shrug it off and like, whatever, bro. I did a video that featured tweets from Melanie Mac Shadow. And like I said, I wanted to be clear, like I don't hold any ill will towards her. I just wish that her approach to things was different, like, because I think if you want to win this culture war, it's just backwards from how you're going to win it, And again, like, I'm sure it'd be really easy to clip me and go, oh, fucking, you're just jealous. And I don't know. I guess, but I wish her nothing but the best and success. All the creators that, like, that's the difference I think between myself and a lot of other people, is that if I disagree with something that a creator is doing, I can still enjoy certain aspects of them and also be critical of them. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't have to like every single thing that Eric July puts out. I can like the things that I like and then be done and not like the other things. And I can be critical of the things that I don't like about what he does. Same thing with like anybody at FNT. Same thing with anybody at G&G. Like, everybody deserves a little bit of criticism. I deserve a little bit of criticism. I get it a lot. My admins are super critical of me with like Discord. They'll send me DMs all the time. Hey, what are you doing? What the hell was that? You need to fix this. Like, stop being a bitch. Like, they'll do that shit all the time. What up, Ken? Good to see you, brother. And what I don't want all of this to turn into, all this sort of relates to what I'm talking about. Like the internet falling apart.
The night, and then the next few years in the late 1970s. In return, Meyer built the family.
Like, is the internet actually falling apart? Probably not. I think it'll be fine. I just think a lot of these people could do a lot better in how they approach commentary, how they approach the culture war stuff, entertainment. You know, Melanie owes me no explanation or anything. I hope one day that she'll take me up on an interview, because I would love to talk with her and pick her brain on why she does the things that she does. But again, you know, and really not necessarily any shade to her, but I just don't, like, she won't take criticism. Like, she wouldn't, like, it would be hard for her to have her ideas under fire, because like that's not the kind of creator that she is. And that's not how a lot of these creators are. They're there because they want to make their point in what they believe, and they don't want to necessarily defend it. And there's not necessarily anything wrong with it. You don't owe anyone an explanation. I think it's good to explain yourself at length, and especially if you're really pushing back with politics now, like, you should allow your ideas to be under fire, because it only helps reinforce them to you and to your audience who you're trying to convince. Brahm, I see you. What's going on, man? I mean, I have to remind myself daily that all these people are individuals. I want nothing but the best for them, and that's really the God's honest truth. I don't want anyone to lose their platform. And when I put that video out, I even said, I'm not asking for a mass unsubscribing or mass flagging of anything that Melanie does or any other creator does. I'm just asking that people think about what is being said. What's that mean for destruction? Like, think critically about the people you do support and how they're coming off. Like, Mel's just been playing that bigot meme for a long time, and people will eventually believe it because they don't know her for anything else other than that. And I don't believe that's who she really is. Not for 1 second. I don't care, good Christian or not. Like, I don't believe for 1 second that if, like, a trans person or a gay person came up to her in real life, she would call them that word. I don't think she actually believes that shit when she says it. I think she's doing it because she knows that people will click on her videos, they'll watch the short, they'll share it, they'll comment on it. And again, like I said, when I see the comments sometimes under some of her tweets, I just go, holy fuck, like, in 2024, really? And this isn't, before anyone gets out of control, I'm not saying that what she says is like radicalizing people and making danger or whatever. Nobody would ever say those things for clicks on the internet. Space Zombie, you're supposed to be at an interview. Go crush your interview. Go prepare for your interview. Everyone wish Zombie a successful interview. Wish him luck on his job interview. Maybe he already had it. I don't know. It's like almost noon where he is, so it could be done. Jewish hours. Yeah, I mean, I hope everyone understands where I'm coming from. Hopefully that video that I did recently, if you haven't seen that recent video, it's the most recent one I uploaded, and like, I want people to realize that there is a lot that goes into, well, this is going to sound stupid and patronizing. There's a lot that goes into being an adult, and part of that is understanding what's good information and bad information. There's a lot of bad information on the internet because it's the Wild West. It's uncontrolled. What up, Punk Waddle? But just like if someone walked up to you on the street and said, "Hey, man, I got the remedy. I have this elixir and it's going to make you live forever. You wouldn't just believe that guy because some guys, oh, ooh, what? Just like when you read something online about, whether it's about Trump or Harris and it's good or bad, don't believe everything you see. Like, fucking look at it. Like, even I stopped sharing shit so quickly because I was unsure. I became unsure of it all. What's up, Mark? Yeah, you need to learn how to filter. Yeah, like, it's just, you know. But, like, people think, like, oh, everyone else has to filter for me. Like, where? No, you like, it's, you know, and not to, I mean, it's bitch shit, right? Like, everyone's got to cater to my needs. That's sort of that's where we are in life. And you just can't do it. Like, any social media platform that you're on, all you got to do, hide, mute, block, whatever your poison, right? You don't like what someone's saying, mute them. Don't be a bitch. Don't block them. I mean, block if you want. You're not a bitch if you block me, but just mute the person. Muting's so much better because if the person you mute is on a thread that you're reading, you can just unmute them and look at what they said. I just don't want to see what they say all the time. And the more you interact with someone, the more they pop up. So I've like interacted with a couple of people that started coming back up on my feed again, but I hadn't really interacted with in forever, but I hadn't seen them. But like one tweet popped up and I liked it or something, and now I'm seeing more of their stuff. And I interacted with some of theirs. So it's like, oh shit. But that's on me because I engaged with it. Maybe that's the lesson here. Just filter your shit. Stop asking other people to filter for you. That'd be like if you bought a bunch of groceries and you told the people at the grocery store to come put it away in your house. No, you entitled bitch. Go home and put your groceries away yourself. Sorry, not sorry. You know, I think at the end of the day, the internet is like, it's a house of cards. No. What is the internet? The internet is just, it's not a house of cards. It's not coming down. It's almost like an unstable. So what the internet reminds me of is like a house of cards that sort of occasionally flips between like dimensionally, like it shifts in between cards and cement blocks, sometimes in the right way and then sometimes in the complete wrong way. Does that make sense? The internet is an echo chamber inside a nuclear exclusion zone? I don't think so. I think it's just a radically shifting environment. And like sometimes you get a stable foundation of it, and then other times it's not. That was the weird, what the fuck was that? I see a couple of you guys have a couple good answers. I mean, I like it. I think the internet is a brilliant place. It is a fascinating organism. Especially now with like AI. Like the large language models and stuff like make it such a cool such a cool place to see and explore. But there's so much you can do on it. It's a virtual playground. It's one that I engage with it like totally on my own terms. Like, there's things I just won't do on the internet, but there's a lot of shit that like I just love about it. I love connecting with all you guys. I love making videos, throwing them up on there. I love that I can drive to work and talk with you on a live stream. Like, what we're dealing with is magic. This is magic. Like, you guys all understand that. The internet is just magic. We understand. Even something as simple as a garage door opener. Can you imagine like going back to like ancient Egypt or caveman and like showing them a garage door open? They'd be like, whoa. They'd probably fucking bash your skull in and like eat you. Pure magic. It's just awesome. And I do think in a lot of ways that like, I don't think it's possible for the internet to fall apart. I hope that people gain perspective on how to utilize it in a healthier way. I think it's, in some regards, the internet as it is now is heavily in its infancy. But it's changed so radically from its inception that people still don't know how to use it properly or how to filter, right? Like, the internet changed, like, from when I was a kid to now. It's not even the same place. Not even close. What we have now is a total. It's again a total miracle. And back then we couldn't even fathom what we have now. Maybe the people designing it had an idea of what they wanted, but like, this is just nuts. But because of that, because of how quickly things shifted, and even like, you know, I think I've said this before, even as fast as communication has changed, the way we communicate, everything has changed so fast. Technology has changed so fast that like our brains haven't totally been able to catch up with it. And because we don't, some, not all, some don't know how to deal with that change, especially in the realm of communication, you know, people are rejecting it. And like both extremes, right? We're at a point where I see a lot of people on my timeline now, because I just interact with them a lot now, is you have a lot of people who are rejecting this idea of free speech and saying, you know, it's the company's choice to decide. You know, the internet is part of the global network. It doesn't fall under American law. Like, where does the freedom of speech stop? I mean, even that is not something that's been settled, right? Like, we don't, like, Twitter's an American company. It's based in the U.S. Like, we should be allowed, like, the government should not be able to interfere in what is said on that platform, because it is an American-based company. But it resides on the internet, which is global. So how do you solve that problem? Because that's another argument I'm seeing pop up. Well, the internet is, you know, it's part of the world internet. It's not part of America, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, you have people saying, well, these countries that have quote-unquote hate speech laws have had them on the books for 20 years, 15 years, 10 years. Nothing's going on. Because I say, my thought on the whole thing is, when you start restricting what can and can't be said, whatever team is like up to bat that time is fine. But what happens when the other team steps up to the plate and they have a chance to legislate new speech laws. Then what? And it goes against what the other team was doing. Again, do you really want to get into putting people in jail because they said something you didn't like? Where does that stop? How do you adjudicate that? You know, if people are going to jail in the UK because they say something bad, like they spout some misinformation. Oh, this guy said a thing and people all of a sudden showed up somewhere. Like, how definitive do you have to be to connect one act to another? That's concerning. It is very, very concerning. So I don't know. So in my opinion, you leave it alone. You allow people to say what they want to say, and government cannot restrict that unless it is a call to action, right? Unless someone stands up and says, go to this place now because I said so, and take your things and commit this. There's little to nothing. I mean, that is actionable. Throw them away. Throw them away. Throw the book at them. Can't use your speech to do harm to other people. But when people start getting into, well, that word is an act of violence on someone else. No, it's not. Because again, no one's actually being hurt by a word. But it's again, conservatives have this problem too of not fully reading into something when it's put out there. It is so important to, like, when you're sharing stories, when you're sharing information, like, you really should figure out, like, well, is this real? Is this something that is actually happening, and at what rate is it happening? Like, there's a lot of cool accounts that I follow on TikTok and stuff that break down people's, like, misinformation, and they go against people on the right, people on the left, and it's really refreshing to watch, because sometimes people get it right, and other people, like, they just get it totally wrong. And some people are so smug about it that, again, you get people who are so good at looking like they know what they're talking about that people just take their word for it. They never say, well, question what I'm saying. They go headlong into what they're saying. Everything I'm saying is correct. I'm not saying one or misinformed thing. I realize that's a big ask, right? For people to take their time, but take their time, put out content in a slow manner, don't rush, all that stuff. So how's everyone been? I'm done with my rant. I can't see it, Jeff. People aren't drones. They have to take responsibility for their actions. Yeah, people have agency. People forget. I mean, those who wish to control what you say and do don't want to take responsibility for their own actions. That's sort of the long and short of it. They don't want to be held accountable for what they do. They want someone else. Oh, this person said something that made me do it. No, that's not how that works. It's almost like people are they're trying to find a way for everyone to just plead insanity on everything, right? Oh, well, this person, you know, like there's, yeah, like I think to a point, I think everyone to an extent should be able to conduct themselves, handle themselves, seek the treatment you need, the help you need when you need it. But instead what we're seeing is, oh, well, everyone's helpless, so let's give everyone an out. Like, well, I'm all for helping people where you can, but part of growing up is you have a lot that's pushing against you, right? You have a lot that's pushing against you, and just like weight, the way you build muscle is you push weight up and down. Your muscles get stronger. Life psychologically is very similar to that. I'm not saying go get traumatized in one way or another and then you'll be stronger. I'm saying being able to deal with your own problems and walk through them with some adversity is going to help. If you're just handed all the things, you're not going to learn. I'm not saying anything that y'all don't know. It's more of just banter at this point, you know. I'm not claiming to be some fucking self-help guru. But hearing it again is not all that bad. And maybe somewhere along the line someone stumbles on this and goes, huh. Maybe. I don't know. That's why I do a lot of this, is that like something eventually will click and someone will see something, and maybe I'll never know. Maybe I'll never know that someone saw a video of mine and was like, oh shit, thanks for that. There was actually a couple of comments on that video that I did, my last video, of people who were like leftists that, you know, they recognized the crazy, and they even said like, I would be considered woke, but this was a breath of fresh air. That's the point. That's the point. That's called bridging the gap. I can disagree with how someone who is like a progressive leftist thinks, but I don't have to like make them into the worst person in the world, because a lot of them are just people who really care about other people and now are lumped in with, you know, just like people look at me and go, oh, you're some fucking nutty conservative. Like, fuck, like, no. It's not who I am, but okay, I guess I gotta ride that wave until people wise up. Like, to me, now progressive means like you're able to balance a conservative and liberal point of view and not fucking lose your mind. Progressive to me is you can hold two different ideas in your head and not go crazy. And I feel like people used to be able to do that much better than they do now. But, and you know, I don't want any moderate is what I used to call middle of the road. Yeah, and like, but now people are like, oh, you're not doing anything as a moderate. I'm like, how is that even how could you even say that? Like, again, I and that's why I say, like, I think progressives are the true, like, I think moderates are the true progressives now, because, like, if you can actually hold two different ideas in your head, like, that's a lot more than other people can do. If you can hold a conversation with someone who is ideologically opposed to you and not lose your cool, you're a moderate. But that's very progressive right now, right this very moment. That's just how I see it. And I think moderates are looked at as like a fucking joke. Oh, you're this fence sitter who can't make up their mind. And that might be the case. But I'll tell you what, the rate at which information comes out now is appalling. Not all of it has to deal with the individual, but you really, it's okay to take your time with stuff. It's okay to take your time on deciding who your presidential candidate of choice is. I do think it's still okay to abstain from your vote. If Congress can do it and that's their right, I can do the same thing, and it's still democratic. I don't have to, especially if I find that those two candidates are both bullshit. Are there people that I don't believe will do the job I require? But I want everyone else, if everyone else is so sure, they should do it. I'm not telling anyone they shouldn't vote. I'm just saying, if you feel that those candidates do not fit the bill, don't vote for them, because you're doing nobody any good. I think you're perpetuating tribalism that just puts us right back to where we are now. And I know some people won't like that I say that, but I don't give a fuck. Because again, I think the best part about today is we should be able to disagree. We do disagree. I have discussions all the time in my Discord where we just disagree on things, and that's fine. Just like everybody should celebrate Tom Cruise's catalog because he's a great actor. Who cares if he's a Scientologist? I think that's the other thing we need to do, is separate art from the artist. Yeah, we should. It's a whole other bag of worms. It's not a bag of worms. It's just a whole other discussion. I know. I hope everyone. I think it was a good discussion today. My voice is all like. Ooh, yum. Fish oil burp. Okay. It's time for me to head into the office here. I want to thank everybody who joined this brand new conversation. It was fucking dope. We had some really cool talks. I'm sorry I didn't get to everyone's chat. If you guys are you should know, when I do these, I just can't get to all the chats because I can't see them and read them. But you guys are phenomenal. Tonight, don't go anywhere just yet. Tonight, member stream. If you're a member on Twitch, or if you're a member here on YouTube, you can join and sit and chat with me. I'll just sit there and chat myself if that's how it's gonna go. Or you can join me, whatever you want to do. But I'll put the link in Discord, so make sure you're in Discord, and I can let you guys, we can all hang out. Usually we're in there for about 2 hours, so hope everyone is around later. If not, that's totally cool. But yeah, I'm gonna call it a day, and we'll see you guys later on tonight. Be good. See you then.